Okay, so here we are back with this whirlpool. I think it's a whirlpool. Yeah, it's a whirlpool air conditioner here. And this is the one with the clickety-clackety compressor when you turn it off. All right. I've gone ahead and taken it the rest of the way apart. We're going to do a quick cleaning on this. I'm not really too concerned about it. I haven't fixed the wire on this run cap yet. It's working. I just got it shoved under that terminal. The run cap itself, the terminal's kind of loose from heat. Yeah, there it is. It's still okay though. But what I'll do is I'll just put the proper crimp-on connector on there and replace the run capacitor with the correct one. No, I'm going to leave it just how it is. Okay, over here, this is another one of these with this interesting metal coil loop that goes underneath the coil, like just a metal loop that sits in the pan. All this crap is just sitting in there. It's the kind of stuff that starts these rusting out. And of course we're going to put a few drain holes in the bottom here. The idea, there being no drain holes in this, is that this pan fills up with water, and this ring on the fan takes that water and it slings it onto the coil to help cool it down, and that makes it run more efficiently. It does slightly. If you look at the current draw, it does slightly make it run a bit more efficiently, but it also rusts out the whole damn unit. So I'm going to be putting a drain hole in it. If you do not agree with that, you do not have to put a drain hole on your air conditioner. But there are plenty of people who put drain holes on them. I am one of them. I have never had a problem, and there are many people who have never had a problem with them. But there are many people who have had their air conditioners rust out and start leaking because of not having a drain hole. So I'm not saying you're wrong for not putting a drain hole, but I don't want any comments about the drain hole, and if there are comments about the drain hole, they will be removed. Okay, let's rinse this coil. You can see just the water there is taking quite a bit of that off. Get some of this base pan, get some of that crap out of there. I ain't aiming to get this one perfect. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it. Especially since I have my beliefs that the compressor in this thing's probably about to take a shit. But you at least want to get all the large crap out of it. Front coil's not too bad. Somebody was running a filter in it. And generally, if you run a filter, it doesn't get too bad. There goes a slinger slinging the water. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't have any coil cleaner, and they only sell it in the store at in the summer for some stupid reason. You know, heat pumps have coils too. Anyway, I've got this, and it's supposedly foaming and shit, so I'm just gonna spray that into there, and maybe it'll foam up and help get some of that crap out. The idea is you want something foaming that will go in there before it's foamed and then foam up inside of it. So, as to get the crap out of it, I guess. It probably says, well, I doubt it says it, but it probably is something that shouldn't be used on coils. Probably corrosive, I don't know, it's Lysol. Okay. Now I guess I'll hit the top piece of the airbox too. So it does have some dirt. What do you call that stuff? The black stuff. Mold. There you go. Everyone's afraid of mold. All air conditioners are going to have some mold in them. I'm sorry if you feel different. They're all going to get some mold in them. God, I can't hold the thing still there. You want to try to go from the bottom to the top, that way you have a chance to hit all the soap and you don't just rinse it all down. And then once you've done that, then you go from the top back to the bottom to rinse it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do it off camera because I don't want to damage anything, and right now it's kind of fragile with the way it's half taken apart, is I'm going to tip it over and get that water out of there and try to get the rest of the crud out of there. Okay, so this thing's definitely not perfect. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. I was fixing to say I don't know why my camera screen is so dim. I can kind of see it. Menu. Oh, I can't do that while recording. Anyway, the bottom pan is clean, and there's actually a barcode right there. There's a barcode right there. We can see better now. This indeed does have a Matsushita rotary compressor, and there's the number on it. And the fan motor's an Emerson. Big thing too. And there's in there. The coil is okay. I can see light through it. And I'll go ahead and put this metal cover back on so it doesn't blow itself apart, and we'll turn it on. Alright, unit is back together. I mean, the main chassis is back together. I haven't put the sleeve back on it. I guess it's a fixed unit, so that's not considered a sleeve, that's just considered a cover. Sleeve is when they're slide-out chassis, you slide it into there. I don't know if I showed all this information in the previous video. If you see anything you want to see specifically, you can certainly pause it to see. I've got the compressor bypass. I've got the thermostat bypass, so the compressor will turn on. I've lost one of the knobs. I'm going to have to find that. It's probably in some of these leaves somewhere. Anyway, we'll go ahead and turn it on. First step is high fan. There's only one fan speed on here, and it's high fan. And then when you turn it on, one more click, it goes to low cool, which always makes me think it's bogging down, but it's not. Okay, we got a lot more airflow through this now. That's great. We'll go ahead and come over here, and I'll turn it on cool. And the compressor honestly doesn't sound that bad now. It's definitely cooling. I mean, it's already cold out here, but it's definitely producing a cooling effect. It might be a little bit low. The top coils aren't quite cold yet, but it's definitely working. You can see they're getting a little bit frosty there. But you know, honestly, it's still only 50-something degrees out here, so you can't really blame it too much. There's a bit of heat on the back, but not much. It's either low on refrigerant or just mad because it's cold out here. But it's not low to the point where it won't work because the whole coil is slightly cool. And I found that generally if the whole coil cools down and not just like that first ring there, that you're generally fine. Anyway, yeah, the compressor sounds fine when it's running. It just does that weird thing when you turn it off. Of course, it's not doing it as violently because it hadn't been running for a long time, but you saw it on the previous video what it was doing. Anyway, we'll put it back together. I don't think I need to do that on camera. You saw what it looked like put together in the previous video. So, yeah. That's about it. For this thing, at least. For now. Might come back to it when it's warm outside, just to see if it is indeed working or not. It's clean though. Might be broken. Might be low on refrigerant, but it's clean. If it is low on refrigerant, I'm going to do the same thing that I did on that 86 Kenmore. Everyone says it wouldn't work, and it's still working. It's been, what, 3 years? I put a bullet piercing valve on it and put R134A automotive refrigerant in it. It works just fine. Cheap and easy thing to do to try to revive an old unit that you don't really give a shit about, and if it breaks it, then screw it. Anyway, that's all for this one. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but here's the video of it put back together, or part, yeah. We got some extra screws. You can get rid of those. About 9 or 10 extra screws. I can't figure out where they go. But you know, if you're working on something and you have a bunch of extra screws afterwards, that just means you're better than the manufacturer. We are better than Whirlpool because we were able to make this unit work without those extra screws. You see how much money I could have saved by making a bunch of these without those screws? No. No, that's not right. Anyway, it's working just fine. I still got to find that knob. I hooked the thermostat back up, and I adjusted it down. That's another good thing about these old analog ones before the, you know, with the boop, boop, click, click, whoop, before they came out with the beep, beep, boop, beep, beep, boop. What I'm trying to say, the kind with the knobs, before they came out with the digital ones, these thermostats in here, they have a little screw in them, and you can adjust them to click on and off wherever you want them to. And like generally the setting is that they go down to 60 or 62 for some of the newer ones. I think this one was probably 62, and then they click the compressor off. But you can turn that screw and dial it down to work as cold as you want it to. So what I always do is I adjust it in a room that's about 68 degrees, and I click it so it clicks on and off about halfway at 68 degrees. So that's pretty good. And then if you put it on all the way cold, it'll get it down in the 50s, and it'll click off. The newer ones, you can't do that. Whatever the lowest temperature they set to is the lowest temperature they set to. If you want to bypass the whole electronic thing, you can, but then you have no thermostat. These you can kind of just do whatever the hell you want to. Anyways, back together. It's definitely blowing cold. Ice cold, actually. And the whole coil, I'm sure there's a bunch of wind noise. What I said, the whole coil is getting frosty, not just the bottom part, so I think honestly it's going to be okay. We didn't get around to putting the drain hole in it. It's pumping out some heat back here now. A lot of these units won't work properly. I could bend those back if I wanted to, because they're not damaged. A lot of those. A lot of these units won't work properly with the covers off, because a lot of times these covers help guide the airflow through the coils, and I believe that was the case with this one. I like having the 3 vents, but they're really shitty vents. Like, I can't, if you want to adjust these vents, you gotta really mess with them. Anyway, I've gone ahead talking too long. My phone is now ringing. That is really the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one. If I don't like it, I'll cuss you out and then delete the comment. Goodbye. Okay. This is the last update on this unit I'm adding on here for now. It's been running about 30 minutes. It's putting out a lot of heat in the back. Very cold up here. It's about 60 out here right now. And the coil is now creating condensation. The whole thing is cold, and there is no frost. So it is indeed working exactly as intended, and it is not low on refrigerant. Now, it's running just fine. You can hear the compressor sounds just fine. Let's just see if it does that weird ticking thing. Yep. So still gonna do that. I think there might be something like a check valve or something, you know, lets refrigerant through one way but not the other. And maybe that's stuck open or something, and it's allowing refrigerant to go the wrong direction and turn it over. But I'm not completely sure. I can restart it mighty quickly after I cut it off, can't I? Anyway, yeah, it's working just fine is the point here. So, I ain't not too worried about it. We gotta find that knob. It's white. You would think it would stick out, but it's not. I'm pretty sure, I'll have to go back and look in the video because now I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm pretty sure they were both there when I started. Anyway, oh, I also glued this crack here. Anyway, that's it.